Stitch this and tell me your best work story.
You asked, so here we go. Now remember, I was a 911 dispatcher for about a decade. One day I get a phone call on 911 and it's a woman that tells me, the tea is in the cupboard. And I was like, that's kind of odd. Now, when you work 911, it's your job to determine if they are really telling you the tea is in the cupboard or if they are telling you that they have an emergency and they need you to send help. So my next question was, are you okay? To which she responded, of course, the tea is in the cupboard. Why is the tea in the cupboard? We proceeded along a whole line of questioning where I'm asking her if she's alone, who she's with. She's with Bob. If she knows Bob. Of course I don't know Bob. And her address. She was sticking to the story of the tea is in the cupboard, and she was not telling me anything or giving me anything to go off of. This is not an emergency. So I'm thinking she's in a full-on fledged domestic violence. By this time, it's only been seconds. I literally have the strangest call written up, and no officers are jumping on it because they're all on busy calls. But this call is just hilarious because I have now at this point in time determined that she's not really having an emergency, but she's not telling me that she's not having an emergency. So now I just need to verify she's not having an emergency. By the way, the tea is still in the cupboard. So I message one of my favorite officers who I know would love to have a good day, and I tell him, you really should hop on this call. One, because I wanted to know the real gist of what was going on. And two, because I think he would have a laugh. Always be nice to your dispatchers. They give you the good call. Per policy, I have to stay on the phone with her until an officer has determined that there's no emergency. So I'm still on the phone with her. I'm trying to get her to tell me that this is not an emergency. She is not giving in. Until the officer knocks on the door. That was a priceless moment. And I hear her exclaiming, and I hang up the phone because it's now she is supposed to talk to him. I no longer get to listen to what's going on. So the officer gets back to his car and he tells me, you would never believe what has happened, what she thought. Oh, call me because I need to hear this straight from your mouth. Apparently, my voice is very similar to her daughter's, and her daughter had sent her a message asking her where she put her tea. So she was calling her daughter back to tell her daughter that the tea was in the cupboard, and she thought I was her daughter. Sometimes phones misdial. Her phone misdialed. She did not have any clue that she thought I was playing with her. She didn't realize that she'd accidentally called 911, even though I told her several times. And I answered the phone. 911, state your address and your emergency. She had no clue. So, for 20 minutes, I got to stay on the phone and banter as an officer was arriving to her location and verified it wasn't an emergency. That's my story.